leading 40-16. You'll see some of the highlights here. This is White Knoll. That's Logan. Nice sophomore point guard from White Knoll hitting his teammate in the corner there. But I think you're going to see Justin Mackey here with a pull-up jump shot. Future Gamecock Justin Mackey there.
And that's Irmo in the
Irmo,
white.
it's been all Irmo here tonight. That's Logan again for White Knoll. Good ball player there, but again, 40-16. That's Mackey again, catching the lob pass over the zone.
I think this is the Irmo team that we all were expecting to see last Friday night against Lexington, but certainly give Lexington some credit. But I think the way this team is playing right now, this is the Irmo team that we expected to see last Friday night against Lexington.
Yeah, that was Browning, number 25, with the three from the corner. Good ball player. Him with the ball there.
There's Mackey. That's twice. They throw it over the zone to Mackey. You know, he's when I see Justin in person, he's a little taller than I expected. He's a good 6'4", if not maybe close to 6'5".
Which was a big attraction for Frank Martin and his staff down in South Carolina. A lot of people look at Justin Mackey and they think about what he has to offer or what he will bring to the table when it comes to South Carolina. The one thing that I will tell you that excites Frank Martin and his staff when it comes to Justin Mackey is his defensive ability on the perimeter, his competitive nature. At 6'4", 6'5", he is long, he is rangy. He's able to offer some versatility defensively, and with the way those guys want to play, with the toughness, with the perseverance on the perimeter defensively, he satisfies all of those things that Coach Martin and his staff are looking for.
Yeah, well, you know, did you mention, because you got him at a good 6'4", 6'5", athletic, tough, smart kid, and then Thornwell is another one that's going to be just great at that kind of, you know, I think we talked to Coach Smith at Oak Hill earlier at the beginning of the season, and he said Thornwell is his top defender right now.
Thornwell is very, very good, and I can't wait to see Thornwell in a South Carolina uniform next year.
Yeah.
You talk about a guy that's ultra competitive. You talk about a guy that challenges himself to let everybody in the gym know that he's one of the best players, if not the best player in between the lines when he's playing. Think about how infectious that's going to become when it comes to this basketball team. Something that this current basketball team is lacking. It's lacking that leader. It's lacking that player coach. It's lacking that guy that's going to hold other guys accountable, hold other players accountable. Yes, Coach Mark can do it from the top, but as players will always be more accountable to each other than they will be to coaches. You're missing that right now. Yes, even though he's a freshman and it adds just a little bit more pressure, but because of the way he's made up, Sindarius Thornwell, he will be ready to take on that leadership role once he steps foot on campus at the University of South Carolina.
We're going to get some highlights of Chad Cook now here on
a little malfunction there, but here's Sindarius here, Sindarius Thornwell. And if I'm not mistaken, we'll even have some highlights of
what a
Sindarius.
handsome man.
We'll have some highlights of Sindarius during the Pro-Am here. This is Carey's Pro-Am here, Eric.
Yeah, I was there as much as I could be. It was hard to get in. It was hard to get into the Pro-Am with all those people out there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can't wait to see that kid in the South Carolina uniform next year as we get ready to start the second half.
Yeah, we'll get going here in a moment. We'll try to keep you updated with those games. Watching the highlights of that Irmo White Knoll game, Captain. Irmo certainly seemed just far too athletic for White Knoll to stay on the floor with them. And we're back. Start of the second half. Hillcrest has possession here, all out of the gates. Starting lineups back out there, and Tyler Hooker misses a three early in that possession.
The zone was really good for Hillcrest in the first half. Let's see whether they decide to stay in that zone because it was really, really good. Really good cut, and they were in the zone. Really good cut by...
the cut was by Quantez Brown. The dish came from Kayvon Dover, Captain. And that's how you beat a team on offense, right? Quick passes. McDaniels from the free throw line, no good. Corralled by Hooker. Ball batted around for a little while, but Trey Smith picks up the loose ball.
Let's call that a fortunate bounce, a lucky bounce. It bounced right into Trey Smith's hand. And
they didn't call it?
No, they didn't call it. They didn't call it. He got lucky, and thankfully he finished. Hillcrest is back in their zone, E-Rock, as I talked about before in the previous possession. Their zone was really, really good for them in the first half. Let's see how Dorman now attacks that zone, because it did give them some problems in the first half. Let's see what happens.
Daniel with the turnover there. I'm sorry, that was Brandon Pinckney with the turnover. Trey Smith comes the other way, kicks it back out. Hooker's, he's starting to fall in love with that three, Captain. Might want to make one before before the night is over. Quick outlet pass on another missed three. Quantez Brown with the bucket. This 30-23. It's slowly starting to get out of hand here, Captain. And
that's the flip side of a scoring guard, because especially that scoring point guard, when you take quick shots, you totally compromise your defensive balance, especially in transition. So they have to find a way to get him involved a lot sooner so they can protect their defensive balance in transition.
Well, Thad Perry knocks down the three there, pulls this to within 4. Yeah, when you got that guy at the top, Captain, shooting, and he's not in a position to get back if there's no rotation.
Everything. It compromises everything, and let's pay attention to that. And he's done a lot of shooting, hadn't done a lot of making. It's a difference between when you take it and not doing a whole lot of making. So let's keep an eye on that, E-Rock, and just pay attention to how many easy opportunities they give up because of his ability to try to score.
Absolutely. Quantez Brown with the pump fake, Captain, gets fouled going up. There's another left-hander on the floor playing smartly, and he has quietly had a really nice game here for Dorman. You know, there's some people walking in front of your shot. We apologize. People got to move around here. Quantez a little long on his first free throw attempt there. Man, it seems that lefties are becoming the norm in basketball, Captain.
I told you about the myth that's associated with lefties, that they're very smart.
I think it's a myth
very
if it's
cerebral
a fact. That's a fact.
Basketball players, and I don't know where that myth comes, where it comes from, and I haven't been able to tell whether it's actually true or not.
A left-hander started it.
Yeah,
because we're smarter.
Just curious, are you a lefty?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, but I'm not cerebral and I'm not a basketball player, although I did sleep at a Holiday Inn last night.
So indeed, it is a myth.
Absolutely. I would imagine so. Let's look at the Hall of Fame and see how many lefties are in it. Hillcrest into the front court. Almost another giveaway there. A little sloppy with the basketball. Good defense from Arcega Whiteside, Captain. Just stayed in front of him. Stayed in front of him, kept his feet. Forced the air ball. Dorman comes the other way. Daniels into the lane. Kicks it to Arcega Whiteside. He shoots. No good. Rebound. Put back. No good. Played back in. Hillcrest comes up with the ball. And Tyler Hooker turns it over, Captain, in his own backcourt on a 5-on-2 break. At least he got back and played defense. He tips it out of bounds. This ball will stay in Dorman's side of the court.
Tyler Hooker's playing like a sophomore. Very careless with the basketball. Turning it over, taking some ill-advised bad shots. I like to see this basketball team play with a lot more discipline offensively. But, again, what do you expect when you're playing without a really, really good point guard in DJ Brooks, and also playing without your third best offensive player in Randall Shaw?
Trey Smith brings it up over to Walker. Ends up back at Hooker. Trey Smith now with the ball is looking to get it to the block to Walker, Captain. See what they do. Back to Hooker. He's going to I thought he was going to shoot again. Trey Smith keeps his feet. Backs it back out. The Charleston Southern signee. Comes off the pick. Double teamed, and he gets it out to Hooker. Across to Walker. Back to Hooker. If there was any myth that you could play this game as a team sport, Captain, without a point guard, we've seen in the last couple of games that be dispelled. So important to have a guy that calms the waters for your team. So important to have somebody who understands how to take care of the basketball.
Playing without a point guard, playing without a guy who understands flow and tempo, time and possession, who understands strengths and weaknesses of his teammates, it makes it very difficult. It's almost like going into a boxing match minus arms, because there's absolutely no way you could get anything done minus a point guard who really understands time and flow, time and possession. And right now, that's the biggest issue when you look at this Hillcrest basketball team. Certainly, again, don't want to minimize or discount the fact that DJ Brooks is not on the court, but we are seeing a big drop-off in point guard play, which is to be expected because we are talking about a kid that's going to play Division I basketball next year in DJ Brooks.
Backups are backups for a reason.
Yes.
Pinckney with the layup, no good. Smith comes the other way. 2-on-2 break here. Captain, he is going to get called for the charge there. Bad decision. That's going to be his third foul, Captain. Black just stood there and let him run into him. Let's see if we can look at that again.
Yeah, he seemed to have a predetermined move already made up in his mind, if we could take a look at that again. And that's the one thing that plagues young players.
It's not even a question.
Yeah, it's not even a question. Just pull up and shoot the 15-foot jump shot. He was already there, and that is the one thing that plagues a lot of these young kids. A predetermined move in your head is sometimes comebacks to haunt you, and that's what we just saw a few moments ago. That ended up being very, very big foul call against Trey Smith.
Several shot opportunities here for Dorman. They stay after it, Captain, and eventually they get it off the foot of a Dorman player. I'm sorry, a Hillcrest player. They'll hold on to the ball here. You know, that jump stop doesn't seem to be a part of the game anymore. When I was a youngin', we were taught to do a jump stop just inside the free throw line.
The floater has taken the place of the 15-foot pull-up jump shot. Well, that's exactly what has happened. It doesn't look as cool. It's not as pretty to pull up and shoot that 15-foot jump shot in transition. They'd rather get really deep into the lane and throw up a floater, toss that running shot. And I think that's what the younger guys prefer, to become a better player, you got to find a way to knock down that 15-foot jump shot. You got to be smarter, especially Trey Smith, a guy that's going to play Division I basketball next year, because that lane closes, that lane collapses really, really quickly at the next level. Get used to doing it right now.
Well, you can look at me and tell that I've never floated. I've gloated. I've been bloated. But I've never floated. There's a foul on the post there committed on Walker for Hillcrest. Hillcrest inbounds it from under their own basket. Just throw it to the top. There's Trey Smith at midcourt, crosses over Whiteside, goes, and he is blocked. Nice defense. This kid's putting together a resume in one game, and then he gets the blocked shot, puts it back in.
How did he get down there so quickly? I like him. However he got down there, I like him, and this is a guy that we are going to be talking about here in the state of South Carolina. Again, we talked about him at the top of the hour. We talked about him at the top with head coach Tom Ryan, and he talked about how this kid has generated a lot of interest from several Division I schools. He had a big, big summer, and I can understand the excitement that's being shared with this kid, and I can understand why so many schools are now paying attention to what he's doing over the next few years.
Yeah, let's take a look at that again, Captain. Here's a guy who plays defense and then gets down the floor. You got a motor, you play smart, you play defense.
Never stop playing, and coaches love that.
That doesn't even need commentary.
Yeah, and a player like that will be tagged when it comes to recruiting. A player like that will be tagged as a two-way player because he plays on both ends of the floor.
32-28 Dorman. Both of those free throws were made on the Hillcrest end here. It's still a 4-point game. We've got about 10 minutes left in game two. Just over 2 minutes left here in the third period. Dorman in white, Hillcrest in the black. These are the number 2 and 3 teams in the state, respectively. We brought you the number 1 team on Friday, and we'll be bringing you games every week here on ABR Live. The South Carolina High School Game of the Week, Dorman and Hillcrest. Now they're letting them play, Captain. I guess they used up all their whistles and fouls in the first half. That's Amavi Draper with the bucket for Dorman. Walker kicks it to Smith. There's the floater you spoke of, and it's good.
But he also did a terrific job of avoiding contact. He floated towards the baseline to avoid contact. That seems to be the scouting report on Trey Smith. Dorman is doing a terrific job of getting up under him and forcing him into charges. He did a much better job of recognizing that the last possession and avoided contact.
There's Daniels with the 432nd charge of this game.
Guess that's a good thing, because that tells me that you have some high school coaches in Coach Choplin and Coach Ryan that are spending a lot of time on teaching their players how to take charges. So I like it. That tells me they're spending a lot of time when it comes to fundamentals, something that depending on who you're talking to and depending on who you're watching, something that could be very conspicuous by their absence, fundamentals.
It also means they're playing oh my goodness, he goes baseline, misses the jam. That was Trey Smith. It also means these guys are playing aggressive and attacking the bucket, Captain. But as you've said, and you like the Woodenisms, play fast but not in a hurry.
Be quick but not in a hurry.
There.
And they certainly have been quick tonight, and they've also been in a hurry.
Walker,
you got to capitalize 3-on-1.
He's got to
get a foul or layup. You got to get a foul or layup. I remember playing for Coach Fogler, who's a product of Dean Smith and the North Carolina system. When you talk about the game of basketball, and certainly you can draw up plays and you want to execute those plays, but this is how the game is won. The game is won on your 3-on-2s and your 2-on-1s. And anytime you have a 3-on-1, 2-on-1, there's a golden rule. You have to get fouled or get a layup. If you don't get fouled or get a layup, what a blown opportunity. Fortunately for Hillcrest, they did get fouled. They got saved by the bell, and now they're at the free throw line trying to salvage this possession.
I'm going to say that Trey Smith was a little selfish on that 3-on-1. If he makes the extra pass, easy bucket there, and they've already given away a point on this. Let's take a look at that again if we can roll that back here in a second. But if he makes one extra pass, Captain, they've got two. Instead, Walker goes to the line and misses both. When we get a chance, I want to look back at that again and see if you agree with me. But I think that in that case, if Trey Smith makes one more pass, they get an easy bucket. In any
especially when because they didn't convert on that free throw. Iraq missed 2 free throws. It's almost like a turnover because they didn't get anything out of that possession. So now you have a turnover.
And Pinckney finds Quantez Brown on the back cut, Captain, for an easy bucket. You like to see that team play and easy looks. That's a basketball 101. 6-point game here, and that was a 4-point turnaround for Hillcrest. We got under 10 seconds to go. Trey Smith with the top ball. At top, he'll go on his own. No, he gives it up. Arcega-Whiteside with the pick and almost hits the mid-court shot.
What a terrible possession by Hillcrest. 10 seconds to go. 10 seconds to go. You have the chance to finish the quarter with a really good quality shot. You turn it over and give them an opportunity to score on the other end. Terrible possession. And again, with no point guard that's good enough to recognize what's going on, this is why you see a team crumble at the end of the quarter like we just saw a few moments ago. We're going to toss it over to Chad, who's going to help us out with some highlights. Look like we're going down to Augusta.
We're going to update you on the Columbia stuff in a second, but right now we're going to go with Aquinas in Augusta against Athens Academy. Looks like we're going to get it up here in one moment, but Aquinas is playing Athens Academy, and they're up big in the first half. And so you'll see Michael Scott, the point guard, plays AAU basketball with Marcus Stroman and Ahmed Hill and some of these guys. He's going to make a couple good moves to the basket here. Big scorer and a small body out of Augusta. You'll see Ahmed Hill here in a moment. This is actually a young sophomore, or that's Ahmed with the follow there. But guys in the back, we'll go ahead and cut back to live action here. Dorman versus Hillcrest. We'll bring the highlights in a little while.
Dorman misses a field goal attempt there early in the fourth quarter. And there's Whiteside with yet another steal and the flush. And he brings the crowd to their feet, 38-30. with 7.5 remaining in this game.
We talked about Trey Smith a lot at the top, but looks like Whiteside may be still in the show. He may be still in the show, and again, his coach spoke very, very highly of him. His coach talked about the interest that he's generated, and I can see why. I love his
see
effort.
it again.
Yeah.
Let's look at it again, Captain.
He's really active on both ends of the floor, and when it comes to this kid being recruited, he will be tagged as a two-way player, meaning not only is he good enough offensively, but he's also good enough defensively because he's tremendously active.
And I want to thank AugustaBasketball.com and ABR Live and all of this for allowing us to bring you this, because it's an opportunity to see a name you might not have heard of, and it's an opportunity, Captain, for some coaches to look at this and give this guy an extra look. There's probably some coaches that already know about him, like the guys you were talking about at Clemson, are saying, hey, let's keep this on the down low. We don't want everybody knowing about this kid. There's supposed to be someone else there they're looking at, not my guy.
Well, I can tell you one thing, because of the experience I've had playing, because of the experience I've had in terms of knowing and meeting a lot of coaches, his name will go down on my list for me to reach out to several coaches and let them know that there's a kid up at Dorman that you guys need to get in on right now, because he certainly will be one of the highest recruited players in the state of South Carolina in 2 years.
Yeah, the conversation will go something like this. Yo, man, get yourself up to Spartanburg. I got somebody for you.
Don't ask any questions. You trust me, right? We have a friendship, so believe in what I'm telling you and get your hiney up to Spartanburg so you can take a look at Whiteside.
I'm really glad that we got a chance to see this. We know some of the other names out here, but the kid is having him a heck of a game. Trey Smith falls down, keeps his dribble alive, does his best curly from the Globetrotters. Back to the top of the key for Hooker. He'll try to go one-on-one. A lot of one-on-one basketball on the Hillcrest side.
But you understand why. And certainly Trey Smith hasn't been splendid tonight. But when you're playing without your running partner, whenever you're playing without your third leading scorer, a lot of pressure falls on your shoulder. And right now he's playing like a guy that has a lot of pressure on him to make up for what they're missing. But as you can see, he's still doing all of the little things. He's still continuing to fight. He's still playing hard. What a great putback just now. But it's going to be tremendously difficult minus those two guys, especially down the stretch on the road.
38-34 Hillcrest, trailing by 4. Dorman back into the offense set. Arcega Whiteside over to Quantez Brown, another kid I've been impressed with tonight, Captain. Brandon Pinckney over to Kayvon Dover. Back to Josh Black. He'll put it on the floor. He's kind of directing traffic, and he gets it picked, Captain, from Hooker. Nice defensive play from the young man.
2-point game.
There it is. Nice play, Captain. Just put some pressure on the ball and see what happens, right?
Especially the way Hillcrest wants to play. And I think for them to have a chance to finish up, for them to have a chance to finish this game in a strong fashion and obviously give themselves a chance to win, they got to play like this. They got to speed the game up. They have to disrupt what Dorman is doing, because offensively, especially in the half court, they're somewhat inept, minus DJ Brooks, minus Shaw. Too much pressure on Trey Smith. Junkie the water up a little bit, make the game ugly, get out and create tempo, get some steals, get some easy opportunities. Now you're not forced to be as deliberate in the half court.
Let's take a look at that again, Captain. It was Dorman was in a possession there. They were playing nice and slowly, patient, and good hands here from Hooker. One dribble from midcourt.
They've been active all night long with their hands, and that's what I've been really impressed with. Now they're extending it full court. Let's see how Dorman responds. They don't. Got a turnover. Trey Smith
ties it up.
Captain,
tie game here. You know, we've talked about the players that aren't able to play today, but you have to be reminded these teams are number 2 and number 3 in the state, not because of one guy on any particular team. There are teams with a lot of talent.
Absolutely, but when you talk about losing a player of DJ Brooks' caliber, when you talk about the position that he plays, you're going to be a lot more glaring, and that's why we've seen a Hillcrest team that has not been very cohesive we've seen a Hillcrest team that hasn't had any rhythm offensively, and that's what you lose when you lose a guy like DJ Brooks, a Division I signee, Mercer College. So, but I still like the competitive nature. I like the fire, and I think we're going to go and have a very interesting and competitive 5 minutes down the stretch. Right now it's a 2-point game, and Hillcrest has decided to muddy up the waters and try to disrupt flow and create tempo with their defense.
Junior Quantez Brown, who got the start today because Trey Robinson is at the North-South All-Star game in Myrtle Beach playing football, has had himself one heck of a game. One heck of a game. He's been very active and around the bucket. Knocks down the free throw to complete the 3-point play and puts Dorman back up by 3. Trey Smith takes on 3 guys, and he puts it in the bucket. Nice move by the young man. 41-40, and that might be a turnover.
Got to be a foul or layup. Great decision by Trey Smith just now. 3-on-1, 2-on-1. It has to be a foul or it has to be a layup. We just got both. Got both just now. Let's look at this replay. And it's something we talked about earlier, E-Rock, and Trey Smith did make a good, sound decision in about 4 or 5 possessions before this, but I think he heard us. And he made the right play and got the foul and layup. What a great momentum changer.
Set up the defense there, didn't he? Looked like he was going to pull up and shoot. And with the quick dish, but Tyler Hooker unable to complete the 3-point play. Captain, no matter, Hillcrest has a 1-point lead here on the road with 4:37 remaining from Dorman.
Absolutely. Again, we are going to go down home stretch, and it's going to be very, very competitive. And as we're waiting for these guys to take the floor coming out of their timeout, we're going to toss it back over to Chad as he updates us on Spring Valley and Westwood.
Okay, what a great game here, and it's a good one over at Spring Valley and Westwood. Not nearly as close, though, Kerry. The Spring Valley guys are up big at Westwood. We'll see a little bit of the action here.
Spring Valley in the green.
Yes, I'm hearing P.J. Dozier has had several monster dunks, and I heard it's a blowout. It looks like it's a blowout. There was a lot of excitement at the beginning because of the two brothers, Perry Dozier and Terry Dozier, 2 former Gamecocks. But remember, that was going to create a few headlines, but P.J. Dozier was probably going to be the show. And from everything that we're seeing, from everything that we've been told, it's not a game over there, as Spring Valley has really opened up the lead.
Right, you see Dozier here getting loose on the break, slamming it home, and it's a 20-plus point lead, Spring Valley over Westwood. See him giving Westwood all kinds of problems defensively, but let's get back to the action here.
We appreciate that, Chad. Back into action. I just want to know one thing, Captain. Who's the better dressed coach there, Perry or Terry?
That's probably going to be Perry, because he'll probably win that category as the best dressed coach in all of the state of South Carolina.
He looks the part.
Hillcrest is back in the zone, E-Rock.
Yeah.
Back in the 1-2-2 zone that was so good to them early on, and they've been active. Let's continue to see not only how active they are out of that zone, but more importantly, E-Rock, how well does this team rebound out of the zone.
Oh, and Arcego Whiteside drains the 3 out of the inbound pass, Captain. It does seem that nice move from Trey Kelly with the layup. We're all tied up. I'm sorry, Trey Smith. Trey Kelly, where'd that come from?
South Carolina. He's done that so many times in Columbia. It's easy to get him mixed up.
Tie game here. Yeah, Hillcrest has played some really fantastic defense, Captain, causing all kinds of havoc and creating turnovers. That becomes infectious amongst the team, doesn't it?
Not a good foul, not a smart play at all by Trey Smith. I understand you're trying to be aggressive, but the zone has been good. If he's going to beat you with a 3-pointer from 5 feet beyond the 3, then you take your chances and you allow him to take that shot. Don't bail the offense out by getting a cheap foul that far away from the basket. Got to be smarter than that. Trey Smith.
Still not in the bonus yet, although Hillcrest is. That is going to go to Dorman.
I just want to let you know that the guys in the back are going to cue up that big white side three and then that instant answer by Trey Smith. What a big moment here to tie the game up.
Yes, turbo recognition by Hillcrest getting out. You got to recognize this kid has been good all night long, and you got to recognize that Trey Smith does a terrific job of attacking that gap, attacking the teeth of the defense, getting into the lane, creating an easy scoring opportunity.
Daniels will set it up at mid-court here. To Pinckney, back to Daniels. Pinckney will take the shot, and he drains it, Captain, just under 3 minutes, and Dorman takes a 3-point lead on the Pinckney three.
Neither team has shot the ball particularly well from the three-point line tonight, but Whiteside and Pinckney have both come up big with three-pointers down the stretch.
Dover almost gets the steal there, but it goes out of bounds. Hillcrest will maintain possession. Yeah, I guess we'll go and take a look at this shot here from the corner, Captain. Daniels kicks it over to Pinckney here. He doesn't hesitate and drops it. Trey Kelly going to the hoops once again. He is aggressive here, Captain, and he's another player here in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think he's doing a better job of attacking the defense, and I've always been impressed with Trey Smith. Excuse me.
There you go.
I've always been really, really impressed with him, and he's doing a much better job of attacking the defense. He's allowing the defense to shift, and he's kind of catching the defense in disarray. And it's much easier to go against a defense that's shifting, a defense that's in disarray, as opposed to going against a set defense.
Kerry, it's like deja vu here. A three from Dorman, and then Trey Smith answers quickly with the slashing drive to the hole.
I think he likes to be ignited by the other team making the three before he attacks the basket, because
that's a heck of a way to play.
That's two plays in succession that he's done the same exact thing. And even I was telling E-Rock early on that neither team has really shot the ball particularly well from the three-point line all night, but Whiteside and Pinckney have both come up big, making three-pointers for Dorman the last few possessions.
I agree.
I like that Trey Smith is scoring around the bucket. With a name like Trey, those guys like to shoot from outside, Trey for Trey, but Trey's got a lot of deuces tonight.
And certainly because he's multi-dimensional. He can pass it, he can shoot it, he can handle it. And we've seen some plays that are certainly uncharacteristic of Trey, because there's such pressure on him to get it done, minus those other two key guys. But we've seen him settle down here late.
Daniels attacks the bucket, misses it. The putback is no good, and it's stolen the other way with Hooker. He makes it, and they take a 1-point lead. The roadside, Hillcrest up 1 with 2 minutes remaining here. And a nice look from Daniel to, who's that fella? Quantez Brown on the baseline for the layup. Let's take a look at those last two possessions, Captain. These teams are making it happen on the defensive side of the floor.
Yeah, and
here's the layup from Hooker, but Dorman doesn't waste any time. They don't mope. They get back up the floor.
Well, they caught Hillcrest as they were trying to set up the press, and because they were on their heels, they didn't get a chance to get set in their press. Dorman did a terrific job of attacking, and not only attacking the press, but finishing the play. And that's what happens when you press. You give up something. If you're going to take away something at the point of that press, then unfortunately you're going to have to give up something on the back end. That's what happened with Hillcrest. Give Dorman credit for getting the ball out quickly and not allowing Dorman to set their press up. Hillcrest set their press up.
You had it right the first time.
Okay. I think I'm excited, just like the other fans, with the way this game is going down the stretch.
Second South Carolina high school game of the week, and we've got another barn burner here. Don't step away, folks.
Let's see whether Trey Smith comes and get the basketball. I think he needs to have the basketball in his hand to try to give this team an opportunity to close out the game on the road. Trey Smith has to come get it, especially minus the other two key offensive guys.
I think there was a foul on that play, and there's nothing called. Hooker, if he wasn't fouled, then that was just a poor decision.
It was a poor decision, and I don't think he should have gotten that foul called because you're taking away the advantage from the defense. He went into no man's land. He had absolutely no place to go, and thus getting a turnover. Wow, look at this tournament mess.
My goodness. This is...
Randall Walker got the turnover and had an easy chip shot at the basket, down one, and could not convert it. They get lucky because they find a way to get the turnover. But wow, you got to take advantage of that easy chip shot with 1 minute and 33 seconds to go.
I want to take a look at that again because I think that ball bounced out of bounds, and it bounced off the face of Daniels for Dorman, landed out of bounds, and they didn't call it. It stayed. Let's take a look at this real quick. Tell me this ball doesn't bounce out of bounds. Maybe I'm wrong here. Nope, it sure didn't. The refs 2, Eric, nothing. And Hooker, I don't like that shot.
Well, I don't get it because you got 2 straight possessions and Trey Smith does not touch the basketball. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Wow, there's a tip-in, Captain. They kept it alive and kept fighting, and I think that was Tyler O'Shea. I think they're going to give that to number 20 on the tip-in, and now he gets a turnover. He comes the other way, 3-on-1. You got to give it up.
Oh, wow.
Got to give it up,
wow.
Captain.
What a terrible decision and selfish play to shoot that basketball 3-on-1. Something we've talked about all night. These are the plays that determine the outcome of the game. Yes, it looks good when you're in your half-court set and you're executing. You have 1, 2, 3 different options. Yes, that looks really, really good. But these are the plays that normally determine the outcome of the game. 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s, getting fouls, getting free throws, and convert easy scoring opportunities.
Let's take a look at it again, Captain, because I think the Zebras may have bailed O'Shea out. Here he comes the other way. He's got guys on either side of him, Captain.
And it goes back to something we talked about before, a predetermined move, something that plagues these youngsters all of the time, not only at the high school level, but also at the college level. And I'm talking about the highest level of college basketball. Guys get it made up in their minds what they're going to do, what plays they're going to try to make without reading and reacting, without surveying the scene to help make the determination on what type of play to make.
If you're a point guard and your big man's willing to run the floor with you, you better reward him. Yeah, but we got bailed out.
Well, I played point, and I tell you, I had the fortune of playing with 2 all-SEC players in Jamin Watson and Emmett Hall. And as a point guard, I had to recognize when each one of those guys needed the basketball. If I went 2, 3 possessions in a row and one of my guys didn't touch it, regardless of what Coach Fogler called on the sideline, I knew that I had to keep that other guy satisfied, because if those guys weren't satisfied, they weren't going to rebound, they weren't going to run the lanes for me. And if those guys are not doing that, that's going to make my job far, far too hard. So those are some of the things that can't be taught when it comes to playing the point guard position, which is why it is the one position on the floor that can never, ever be manufactured.
Well, they got bailed out of all of that, Captain, and Shields at the line right now. And he will he's got an opportunity to put his team up by 3.
50 seconds to go, Eron. A big free throw, three-point game, 1 possession game. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Hillcrest is in a 1-2-2 zone, the zone that's been really, really good to them.
Daniels will take it himself. It's no good. He comes the other way. Captain, he should pull it out. 31.7 seconds remaining here, and they're in the bonus, so he'll go to the line.
And I think he made the right play. He had a breakaway. He was out front. Got an opportunity to get an easy opportunity at the basket, and I think he made the right play. You don't want to risk, especially with how careless this team has been with the basketball in their half-court sets.
Fair enough.
Minus a point guard, minus DJ Brooks. I think you have to go and try to get that bucket. If you have a DJ Brooks, a guy who understands time of possession, a guy who understands value in possessions, yes, I think you do pull it out and you try to get something better. But minus that guy, I think he made the best decision by going and trying to get an easy opportunity at the basket.
Well, fortunately for Hillcrest, they're in the double bonus. So he gets 2 opportunities to make 1, and he only needs 1 to make this a 2-possession game.
Imperative that he makes this free throw because, yes, now it becomes a 2-point game. But you still have to be careful if you're Hillcrest. You don't want to give up anything easy. You want to play good, sound defense, but also you want to conclude the defensive possession by rebounding. Let's see what Dorman does.
He needed to kick that to Arcega-Whiteside.
I think he called a foul.
It is a foul. It is a foul. It's a foul on Hillcrest. It looks like it'll be his 5th. Let's run that. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll keep it right here. 19.7 seconds remaining, folks. 4-point game. You see their score there at the bottom of your screen. 53-49 Hillcrest.
Lucky for Hillcrest, it's only their 5th team foul, so they're not in a 1-and-1.
Whiteside to the corner. There might be a foul there.
What a gusty performance by Hillcrest. We talked about all of the guys that were missing at the top of the show. We talked about Hillcrest having to go minus DJ Brooks, a terrific point guard, a Division I point guard, signing on to play at Mercer next year. We talked about them also playing without their 3rd leading scorer in Randall Shaw, who did not make the trip because of the flu. DJ Brooks has a torn ACL. He's out for the year. The only really proven offensive commodity you had going for you tonight was Trey Smith, who got up to a very, very slow start, who had some uncharacteristic plays. But these guys found a way to get it done. They kept it close. They used their defense to get easy scoring opportunities. And what a great performance by these guys. Yes, it was ugly, but you know what? When you're on the road, you'll take it however it comes. Now, 13 seconds to go. Got to find a way to finish this game off. I think they'll do that. They're playing with a lot of confidence. Again, what a great and gusty performance by Hillcrest tonight.
And let's not discount how well Trey Smith played there in the 4th quarter. When the game was on the line, he got to the bucket. He made most of his opportunities, and he led his team. Defense and timely buckets is what Hillcrest used to get a win here, it looks like. And they do get a steal. Was he fouled taking a 3-pointer there?
Looks like he stepped out of bounds.
Unfortunate. 11.1 seconds now. Hillcrest will inbound it. That's Kajana Madden down there. There'll be a timeout here on the floor with 11.1 seconds remaining in this game.
This is where you miss a DJ Brooks. 11 seconds to go. Being pressed because of how good and how talented this kid is. You find a way to get the ball to him in the backcourt, and you clear out, and you trust in DJ Brooks to make a play, and not only make a play, but to make the right play. And Hillcrest, obviously, this is not the first game they've had to go without DJ Brooks. From what I'm told, I think he tore his ACL 5 minutes into the last game against Dorman. So they played without him before, but certainly they haven't had this type of challenge on the road.
So it was gut check time for them, and they passed the test, Captain. 11 seconds remaining. Kajana Madden to inbound it from the Dorman side of the floor in the corner. He throws a bomb. Trey Smith with the catch, lays it up and in, and that's going to do it, folks. 6 seconds here. Baseball pass up to Arcega-Whiteside. His 3 goes over the backboard. 0.5 of a second remaining. 6-point game here in favor of Hillcrest. And wow, Captain, a little surprise here with the result.
I am surprised, especially considering the guys that Hillcrest was going without, especially the magnitude of the kids that were not available, namely DJ Brooks. When you playing the point guard position is such a valuable commodity, especially at the high school level, and to lose a point guard at this level against a team like Dorman, the number 2 team in the state of South Carolina, and to come on the road in a hostile environment, minus your arguably best player, and to still find a way to get it done, wow, impressed.
Second South Carolina high school game of the week is in the books, Captain, and if these 2 are any indication of what we've got to go bring to you this year, well, hold on to your hats, folks, because it's going to be a fun, exciting year of high school basketball. I'm so happy we got to be a part of that. And the students now from Hillcrest, there was a nice contingent here on hand. kind of storm the floor to enjoy it with the students, and they've got to love that. The players have to love that.
Let's just be happy that we do have police presence here. You know, that's one thing that home teams take personally. They don't like other teams rushing the floor and kind of invading their territory, being somewhat intrusive. So let's be happy. Let's be glad. And now you're seeing security move those guys off the floor. What a smart move. But you certainly have to understand the excitement that the Hillcrest student section certainly experiencing, because think about what they were up against. Again, they're playing without two of their top three best players. You don't know what the expectation were. Certainly, you know they weren't the same as it would have been with those two guys. But a gusset performance. They stayed behind them. They supported them. And Coach Choplin, congratulations to him for getting his guys ready and not allowing his guys to feel sorry for themselves. Hey, we're playing without two of our three best players. And he found a way to lock those guys in and connect those guys to what was going on. And they stayed focused on the game plan. And not only did they stay focused, but they did a terrific job of executing their game plan.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this game, and then we'll go across the state and get highlights from Augusta and from beyond here in a moment. The guys letting us know they've got some highlights here. Captain, we'll get your thoughts on some of these plays.
Great interior passing. I thought Dorman did a good job of, once they found angles, getting into the middle of the lane and creating opportunities. Hillcrest got a lot in transition early. Trey Smith was the main culprit. He was the guy that got a lot of opportunities in transition.
Here's our guy Quantez Brown, captain, with one of his several points. I'd love to see the box score on this and see how many he had, but he seemed to be around a lot. Kick to the corner, one of the few threes that Hillcrest hit today.
Yes, and also one of the few times that that Hooker made good decisions in the paint. I thought he played somewhat reckless early on, and you are playing as a sophomore. You are playing behind DJ Brooks, so you have to wonder that playing time was going to be somewhat limited. But he found a way to get out of here with a win tonight.
And that was Arcega-Whiteside with the block, and then the dunk on the other end. He's an early candidate for the all-carry team, the all-captain team.
Yes.
for 2012, 2013. Here he goes the other way with a dunk. I think they slowed that down a little. I don't think he can suspend himself that long.
That's called being athletic. What a great pass by Trey Smith. I told you at the top that he was a multi-dimensional guy. There you see him again splitting the defense. Missed the first chance at the basket, but because he's really quick off the floor, he's really nimble on his feet, and he found a way to get a quick basket via the offensive rebound.
Stuck with it. Stick-to-itiveness. Here he is with another nice
He
sub
loves the paint. He loves getting a piece of the paint. And talking to the guys down at the College of Charleston Southern, that's the one thing they spoke very highly about Trey Smith, his ability to get from point A to point B comfortably off the bounce, and also continually getting a piece of the paint, making plays for either himself or his teammates.
Yeah, you know, I hate to interrupt, Kerry, but that's what I was impressed with. You know, you mentioned at the SCBCA banquet that you saw Trey Smith and you were impressed and you went and told people about him. Mm-hmm. And I see why tonight. He's got that competitiveness. Not a blow-away athlete. Right. And I think Eric mentioned earlier, not like a deep shooter, but he gets it done.
He gets it done. And I was at an event. I think it was one of the showcases. And as I always do, I like to evaluate and just kind of observe and see which players stick out. And we had other guys in attendance that day, like a Marcus Stormer, who's a South Carolina commit, Matt Howard, who's committed to play at Penn. And Trey Smith was better than both of those guys, right, because of his effort, because of how he impacted the game in so many different ways. And had a chance to speak to he and his mama after the event, and I wanted to find out who was involved, who are some of the teams that are looking at you. And I think at that time they had about 2 schools looking at him, and I said, well, just hold tight. I'm going to make a few phone calls because I like the way you play. And I think within the next 7 to 10 days, he had about 10 phone calls from several different Division I schools ultimately decided to play for B.J. Mackey, Barkley, Raddabaugh down at Charleston Southern.
I think the thing I like about him the most is the way he attacks the basket. You know, his ball handling. He's not the quickest guy in the world, but he gets there, and that means he's got to be a good ball handler.
And he understands how to play.
Yeah.
He has great vision. He has a terrific feel for the game, and that's why those coaches are very, very high on him down at Charleston Southern, and you expect him to impact Charleston Southern as a true freshman next year.
Okay, well, Eric said it a second ago that we would have highlights, and we are going to go ahead and do that and bring you stuff from around the state. We've already dropped in a little bit on Irmo and Spring Valley. Irmo against White Knoll and Spring Valley against Westwood. We'll revisit that for a moment. We got cut off a little bit on that Spring Valley thing, so we'll come back to that. This was early, Westwood getting a basket, but after this it was kind of all Spring Valley. You'll see here in a moment, Spring Valley forced a turnover. Dozier here with the ball, pitches it ahead. Ball gets a little bit loose, but he comes back up with it, finishes. He's about to get one on the break in a moment here and finish with authority. And it was all Perry and P.J. Dozier over uncle and brother Terry Dozier.
Looks
tonight.
like it's a final down there, 61-38, Spring Valley.
That's right. That's right.
I like those Spring Valley uniforms.
Yeah.
They look good.
Well, they're taking after their head coach. They want to be the best-dressed team, like their head coach is certainly the best-dressed coach.
Okay, good. And then we'll jump over. We'll revisit the Irmo game very quickly here. Another victory for Irmo, so they remain undefeated here early in the season. Sorry, I had it.
That's all right.
Not quite right.
There it is.
Now, while we're watching some of this, guys, do you want to preview some of the things that are coming up this weekend? We'll be at Ridgeview High School. We're gonna see Ridgeview in action. Ridgeview starting off strong, Coach.
They are starting off strong. They actually
he's coached. he coaches some mighty fine athletes right now.
Yeah, 8 and under, matter of fact.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, we got to put them on. What do we call this? The game of the week.
Game of the week.
Game of the week.
We play every Saturday. 8 and under. Got some pretty good athletes led by my son.
Good, I bet. I was wondering if you're coaching 8 and under, there's got to be a son.
Game of the week, not for the week.
Yeah, but I am looking forward to getting back to Columbia and John Combs Ridgeview, getting a chance to see Zach Norris and Keenan High School, Jason Powell and Richland Northeast. I think we have about 4 games next weekend.
Yeah, a bunch.
Yeah,
a lot.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll be at Ridgeview Friday night, and we'll be at Richland Northeast Saturday. And you mentioned Keenan High School, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Spring Valley.
Spring Valley,
as well.
Yes.
Yep. And so that's a little bit of Irmo, and then we've got a little bit of the Keenan game. Keenan beat AC Flora tonight. If you give me one moment, I'll be able to pull that up.
I do want to mention something as well. A friend of mine is he's following us on his iPhone, so you can if you want to, if you're going to be at the game anyway and you got an iPhone, you can still watch the replays right here, because a lot of times when you're at a high school game, or most high school games, you don't get replay, especially in basketball. So there's an added bonus to this broadcast.
Yeah, that's a good point. Even if you're at the game, you can watch the replay.
Yeah,
I didn't even think of that.
You can still see what's going on as we bring you the replays, and you can listen to Carrie break it down and tell you whether you should be happy or sad with the play of your point guard.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I'm certainly going to harp on the most. But that's 2 games in a row, man, that we've had to go down to the wire. Last Friday, Irmo and Lexington, and of course tonight, Dorman and Hillcrest. So both of the games, and I guess that's the reason we chose these games as the games of the week, because we expected such close games. We expected this type of competitive nature and competitive fire, and we haven't been disappointed. So if the rest of the games are going to go like the way the first 2 games have started, wow, E-Rock, it's going to be really, really exciting.
I can't wait.
You could say we chose it that way, or you could just say that we said, hey, Kerry, we need the best games in South Carolina, and he delivered.
You didn't talk to these refs, did you?
I did not talk to the refs.
Just making sure.
And just so our viewers know, what we have up here is North Augusta versus Evans. North Augusta put a whooping on Evans High School. Evans, out of my hometown, Augusta, just beat Aquinas with a buzzer beater Friday night. Aquinas, probably what we thought was the best team in our area, and so they're coming off a big win. But North Augusta out of South Carolina absolutely put a beating on Evans tonight. So, back towards my way, a little bit of action from that game.
A little border war here.
Yes, exactly. And this is TJ Shepard. He's a senior carry, really good player. You see the step back jump shot there.
Nice.
He scores in bunches. He's really athletic, really, he gets off the floor. I think he's going to maybe get a steal and a dunk here.
Some interesting
how big
footwear
is he?
there.
He's 6'1".
6'1"?
6'1". Not very big, but he's very bouncy. He can shoot the basketball. Got a lot of game. He can really handle it. He's got the whole package.
And Chad, we just wanted to thank you again for being responsible for putting this together. I'm on a mission to help remind folks that there's some good basketball in the state of South Carolina, and with your help and with the platform and the stage that you've given us, I'm so appreciative. And of course, having my partner alongside of me, E-Rock, Eric Gamaris, my radio partner, I'm just happy that you've made the effort to give us this platform, give us this stage, and not only South Carolina, but also the state of Georgia, the North Augusta area, and look forward to just spreading the word about South Carolina basketball. Again, I came out of Columbia. You came out of South Carolina during an era that produced 5 to 7 high-level basketball players every single year, just in the city of Columbia for a 10-year period.
Right.
So I know it can be done, and hopefully with the notoriety and the recognition that we're now giving these high school kids, you know what? I think they become more motivated. I think they want to work a little bit harder to show that they are worthy of the recognition. And if you work harder and you put in the time, and if you obviously commit and sacrifice in terms of becoming a better player, then obviously your rewards are going to be greater when it comes to potentially getting a scholarship offer.
Yeah. Well, and I'll say, while we let these highlights run, this is that's Marcus Stroman there. So this is Keenan and Flora. Actually, we'll go back to the beginning. We'll go back to the beginning and let that play so we can see that first little jump shot. Here's Marcus Stroman. Whenever it cranks up here, coming off that screen from Charles Mann, little step back jump shot. And we'll get to that in a second. I know that's something that, he's been asked to work on, that, getting that shot off the dribble and, bearing it from off, kind of, what do you call it? Rhythm jump shot.
Rhythm jump shot.
Remember you were telling me that?
That rhythm
Frank
jump
Martin,
shot. Yes.
wants him to work on that rhythm jump shot.
He has everything else.
Yeah.
He plays tremendously hard defensively. He has great vision. He's really, really good off the bounce. Nice size. Nice understanding of how to play, very unselfish, but to really become that point guard at the next level, you're not going to be able to get those set shots like you get in high school. So you have to put in the work to be able to get into your jump shot off the bounce, that rhythm jump shot that we talked about. Because one thing for sure, at that level, at the SEC level, at the ACC level, once that scout report starts to surface, that's going to become the game plan of every opponent that you face. They're going to force you to become a jump shooter as opposed to a driver, especially when it's known that you're not a good jump shooter.
Right. Yeah, and so what I want to say, just to wrap up, the last thing I'll say is you guys are great. This basketball that you've been showcasing in the state of South Carolina is great. This game was great, and I kind of had the goal tonight of, kind of bringing the highlights from across, and I kind of got my butt kicked tonight. So, I did my best, but boy, you guys carried it, and I appreciate that, and, proud to work with you guys. Heck of a night. Can't wait till Friday and Saturday, and we haven't even mentioned, I don't know, Eric, if you've looked this far ahead, but the following Friday and Saturday, you get Oak Hill versus Keenan High School.
Yes.
And Oak Hill versus Ridgeview High School. So
try to keep me away. Try to keep me away, but you name it, I'm along for the ride. This is going to be a lot of fun. And Oak Hill, are you kidding me? We'll get our first look at Sedarius Thornwell, the guy that could be the what's the right word here? The leak that kind of opens the dam for prospects to stick around. These guys that have been leaving for greener pastures, maybe sticking around and going to Clemson and Carolina. And Frank Martin signing this guy has been a big, big deal. Well, we get to bring it to folks and let them see this guy play.
And the opponent, Keenan High School,
Right.
with Marcus Stroman, who will be there the next year. So,
Right.
Gamecock fans, basketball fans, who wouldn't want to see that?
And those are just one of the many games that are going to be played throughout that weekend. I think we have 8 or 10 games that weekend.
Well, that's actually this weekend, but that next weekend, 3 or 4. But 2 of them involve Oak Hill.
I got you.
And, it's going to be a blast.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, so, I'll let the pros sign us off, and thanks again for being with us, guys.
We'll wrap it up here then. Another outstanding game here on the South Carolina High School Basketball Game of the Week. We want to thank ABR Live for bringing this to you. Tell your friends to go to netcastsports.com to watch that. They'll archive it. You can go back and watch it again. If you missed the Irmo-Lexington game, that'll be up as well. Just text us. We'll send you links on that, and you can text us, the Captain 560. I'm Eric G 560, and you got Og B-Ball. You see those those Twitter handles at the bottom of your screen. Captain, great job, and I know you don't like the word great to be tossed about, but you did a fantastic job keeping our listeners informed of what was going on the basketball court. We look forward to being back with you Friday, boy, we've got a lot of games. 2 games Friday, 2 games Saturday. You heard Oak Hill, so a lot to look forward to. Thanks to all of you for hanging out with us, Captain. We'll see you in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah, back at you don't get enough of me. We'll be back in studio 560 the team. If you want to catch us, that you can do that a lot of different ways. And I tell you what, follow us on Twitter, and we'll keep you informed on that as well. We do this for a living, so we appreciate you, Chad. We appreciate ABR Live, and we'll see you Friday. Let's wrap it up. Take care.